This is the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast, and I'm your host, Marsha Ogden. Lovely to have you here. This podcast is definitely for you if, like me, you're over 50. But again, like me, you're not done yet. So once a week we'll have a chat about topics that are dear to our hearts. As we hurtle towards this new chapter in our lives, we'll talk about staying healthy, retirement, empty nesting, downsizing, all sorts of things. It'll be a little bit of education, inspiration and humour with a dollop of seriousness. But all the vocab and references will be stuff that we can relate to. Sometimes I'll have guests, sometimes you'll just have to put up with little old moi. The Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast is very happy to be sponsored by Organic Secrets UK Limited. With a mission to spread the word about natural relief from mental and physical conditions that stop us from living our best life, Organic Secrets is an online supplier of high-quality CBD and supplements. Hop over to www.organicsecrets.co.uk right after this podcast. There's also a link in the show notes. Hello, and welcome to episode 60 of the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast. I hope you've had a good week. As you may remember, in Series 2, we're following the Sesame Street style of being led by a letter of the alphabet. This week I thought, D for dance. I'll talk to my friend and ex-dance teacher Debs Thomas about how wonderful trying something new like a class can be. You know, whether it's dancing, singing, yoga. They're so good for body and mind. Well, we haven't really been in touch much over the last few months. Well, of course, it's been COVID-19, hasn't it? We're just coming to the end of week 17 now, I think. And no one's seen anyone. Except for Debs. There's so much more to her story than I bargained for. The sound quality in this interview is a little bit dippy in places, but stick with it because she's such an inspirational guest. Enjoy. My guest on the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast this week is my friend and ex-dance teacher. Haha, nobody knew I could dance. Don't say a word, Debs.
Oh, you can though. Oh, yes, you can.
Debs Thomas. Debs was my teacher, my excellent teacher in Broadway musical dance. But that's not all she does. You are cabin crew, aren't you? But you've not always been cabin crew either, have you? So apart from turning 50 a few months ago, so she's one of us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Debs.
I'm Debbie. Before I became hostess with Mostess, I was a professional dancer. I trained from being the age of 3.
Oh, wow.
And I went off on my first ever contract at the age of just turned 16. Went off abroad. Poor mum and dad didn't know what had hit them. Their only little child trotting off to the big world at the age of 16. I did Japan, Singapore, Korea, Portugal, Greece, and then did the ships as well for 3 years. And I loved it. Had an absolute ball.
I bet. Yeah. Oh my, what a life for a teenager.
Yeah.
And was that the sort of Broadway type dancing, or did you do a bit of everything?
No, it was all Broadway shows again. Some of it included, the feather costumes, the big plumes from your head. I did a bit of also singing. And it was all sort of Broadway musical type, shows.
Yeah.
Really, really, really nice, musical shows.
So when did you make the transition and decide, I've had enough of full-time dancing?
Well, I wanted to be home, to be quite honest. I lived away for 9 months on a ship at a time, so I came home for a month, and then I'd go into panto, and then I'd do a little contract wherever they sent me, and then I'd go and ship them for 9 months. And I really missed, obviously, being at home with my mum and dad. I know that sounds a bit, but I really, really missed it. So I decided to think, well, what can I do? So I thought, I'll go and try for the airlines. And luckily enough that I managed to get on.
Yeah.
And that was 27 years ago.
Right.
And I'm still, the wings haven't been clipped yet. Thought they were going to be clipped at the beginning of the corona.
Oh, God, yeah. Am I right in thinking you were deployed when you couldn't fly?
Yes. I've always wanted to be a paramedic, but with one thing and another, it's just something that, has never really happened to me. And I always watch all of the programs on, television. We've got ambulance, we've got inside the ambulance, 24 hours in A&E. I watch everything.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely desperate, to do the job. Anyway, one thing led to another and I couldn't do it. So I decided, when I wasn't actually working because obviously cabin crew, the company, they asked us to do it and we applied and it became like a voluntary thing. But, you had to go through all of the training for St. John's. And then I've been working in A&E amongst the doctors, the nurses, the ambulances. Yeah. I've absolutely loved it. And if I could find a job in A&E, I would actually leave flying, I think, which is a big change after 27 years of flying. Yeah. But yeah.
It might just have made a decision for you, though, with this enforced changed.
Yeah, yeah. Been working in A&E, and I've also been doing a thing called the street engagement, again, which is through St. John's, and it's working with teams in Manchester City Centre. There's like the police, there's St. John's, the council, and then the homeless, and we all work as a unit and try and help the homeless and all the people that are just, having to live with coronavirus on the streets and everything.
Yeah.
And that's how we've been helping. We've been medical side, and obviously the police and all the other people have been there, for assistance. But yeah, I've been doing that as well for St. John's. I'm loving wearing the green uniform rather than the blue. So back in the blue uniform before you know it, but I am going to carry on with St. John's. I might even apply online for a job.
Wow. Well, why not? Because you're only 50. You could have another 30, 40 years.
Exactly. So I am going to keep my eyes open for anything to do with nursing, and I may decide to change career. So, but I do miss actually lying on the beach and getting paid for it. So that's the only thing. Doing 12 hours in A&E, or doing a 12-hour flight and then getting on a beach with a glass of fizz and being there for days.
Yeah, and realising, oops, I'm in Jamaica.
Exactly. Oops, Barbados. Yeah, I'm undecided yet.
Yeah.
I'll let you know in another 6 months when I get back on board.
But that's so interesting. And that you feel like that about it, not like, oh, well, yeah, I couldn't do my work, so I went to do this instead. The fact that you've absolutely loved it and it's making you think about a career change, that's amazing. And so appropriate for the Directory of a Dream Life 50 plus.
We're not getting paid, we're all voluntary, so we rock up for a 10-hour shift and, none of us whinge. None of us whinge, the girls that are doing it and the boys. And people go, oh, my God, you're doing a 10-hour shift, for free. We just wanted to put something back out there, something out there within the community. And that was what I chose to do.
Yeah. Well, it's like that saying, isn't it? If you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly. It isn't a job. When it comes to the end of the shift, we go, oh, God, we've got to go home. I'm loving it.
Although that's swayed your thinking. You're going back to being cabin crew.
Yes.
And being St. John's volunteer and doing your dance class.
Yes.
You will sleep at some point, won't you?
Well, I need something to get me to sleep with the menopause. Oh, yeah.
Oh, could do so many episodes of this podcast with you, Debs, with your menopause and your career change and dancing.
My God, that menopause is a nightmare.
That'll be another story, another episode.
That will be another week.
I just want to say about your dance classes, I am no dancer and I've always been told I've no coordination. And it's that thing, isn't it, that well, if enough people say it, that's what you think. When I was little, I did a bit of ballet, and then in my 30s, I did some belly dancing, which I loved because it's all freestyle, isn't it? You don't have to do a routine and stick with what everybody else is doing. So your class for me was quite a challenge because I'm an actor and I love stage shows and I've done bits of dancing, but I would never put myself up as a dancer. I turned up at your class on my own thinking this could go very well or very badly. But nobody judges you, do they? It's great. Some are good and others were like me. Nobody giggles or sniggers. We just kind of yeah, I do that as well.
My classes are not out that. My classes are, coming in, forgetting what's obviously gone on in your day.
Yes.
Whether it's your husband, whether it's your children, whether it's your mum and dad, whether it's your work, just close the door and for that 1 hour a week, just be whoever you want to be.
Yeah. Have a bit of me time. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to try things, to see whether you enjoy them. And everybody who comes in my class, they just love it because nobody is obviously judging them.
No.
Nobody's looking at them and thinking, oh, God, you can't do it. Oh, God, you're good. Because they've not got time. Because the class is so full on.
Because it's not easy. We have to tell people it's not easy because we're in a block of 4 weeks. We do a full routine, don't we? And we perform it to video on the 4th week. That's when everyone decides that they like being at the back.
Yeah. It only goes, to your WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
We don't put it on social media because it isn't about that. Because I love seeing when people come in from week 1 and then they go, oh, God, I could never do that. I'll never, ever, ever be able to get it. And all my ladies are the most amazing set of ladies that I could ever wish for. I'm so, so proud of them all. They come in every single week after week after week, whether they're tired, emotional, menopausal, because we're all menopausal.
Yeah.
The majority of us are over 50.
Yeah.
And, we're all in that, the same age bracket. I have got a couple that, are younger than that. And I've got a couple that are in the 70s.
Yeah.
So it is a diverse group, but everyone
I know not everyone's over 50 and it's not one of your criteria to join the class, but do you think over 50 people are a bit more sort of, I don't give a stuff what people think, I'm just going to try it?
See, I think when you turn 50, something happens with yourself, I think, that you think, stuff it, I'm going to do what I want. If I want to go and jump off a building, I will. I think it's something within yourself, can I do it, can I not? And then when you're pushed, to do something, I just think your confidence begins to take over then because, you're you at the end of the day. And I think when you're at the age of 50, I just think people go, oh, I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a go. You've just got to try things in this life.
Yeah.
Try something new because once you've mastered it, the feeling you must get. Yeah. I just think there's nothing than it.
Say, unless you try, you don't know, do you? And I think a lot of people have still got, oh, well, nans don't behave like that, mums don't behave like that, oh, what will my daughters say, and blah, blah, blah. And you've just got to forget what they'll say. It's not about them.
This is our time now. Let your inner diva out, I say to my ladies. Before we do any routine, I take a picture of, whatever music we're actually doing. And I'll show them a picture of, somebody in a costume. We did Copacabana the other week. And I took a showgirl with big plumes of, the feathers on. And I showed them what I wanted them to think that they were going to be like.
I can say that from a student point of view, we just had a ball. And we had a lot of socials as well, didn't we?
It's exactly the same now. Exactly the same. We should have gone to New York last November, I think it was, but it was cancelled due to Thomas Cook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yeah, we've had a couple of trips that have been cancelled, but, we go to the theatre, drink, we'll go out for a meal. We should have gone to Benidorm a couple of months ago, but that got cancelled due to Corona. So, yeah, we are very, very sociable as a group. It isn't about the dancing sometimes. It's just about being part of the group,
like the community and friendship. So when are they starting up again?
We begin again on the 28th
and
this month.
These are all local in the northwest of England?
I have one on a Wednesday morning in Croft, and then I have one on a Wednesday evening at Lowton High.
So you're still passionate about dancing?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And it must be so nice from your point of view to see people progressing in something that they were so nervous about.
Because a lot of women come by themselves. You did, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Walking by themselves. And that also takes a lot of doing, to come to a class where, you have people who know each other and walk in. I think it's amazing. Then just welcomes you and it keeps you fit as well. Dance is amazing for mental health. There's nothing better than exercise and dance, for mental health. It does you the world of good.
Yeah, I think it's like these rock choirs have really taken off, haven't they? Because people are realising that having a good sing releases all sorts of tension. Yeah. And I think dance must have the same effect, really, mustn't it?
I've got a couple of ladies that also do the rock choir, and they love that. And they're an older lady as well. I think one of them, she's about 73, 74, and she loves it.
So although Deb's lessons are in the northwest of England, and it may be a tad too far for those of our listeners who are in the US, because half my listeners are in the US.
A really
but the message is the same. Yeah. There's all sorts of diverse classes around wherever you are, if you have a look, aren't there? And it's just spreading the message that it is so worth getting outside your comfort zone and just trying something that you've always fancied. Because who wants to die with regrets?
Nobody.
Thinking, I wonder if I'd have been any good at that.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to go for things in life. You've got to just give them a try. And if you don't obviously like them, well, you don't do it again. But, you need to give it a couple of weeks, whatever you're doing. Give it a couple of weeks, keep going. And, you may learn to love it and get a passion out of it like I do.
Might get a new career like Debs at 50, working in A&E.
Nurse Thomas.
Why do you think of Carry On?
I wonder who I'd be. Would I be Barbara?
Yeah. Oh, matron.
I could either be Oh Matron or I could be Barbara Windsor. I don't know which one I prefer, if I'm honest.
Yes. I think you'd be Barbara Windsor with your feathers on and your stiletto.
And with Debs double Ds.
Are your classes still called that? Debs double Ds. We all had T-shirts with Debs double Ds on. Not for the reason that people are thinking.
You can take it to the Debs double Ds, or you can take it as Debs Disco Divas.
Disco Divas, that's what we were. It's just a lot of ladies having a good time.
Jiggling with their Debs double Ds. It's all part of the fun.
And you're off on holiday in the morning?
I am, yes. I'm going to Zante for a week. Can't wait. Just to chill. Just a quick little holiday away. We should have been on a cruise, but obviously it was cancelled.
So will everything be open over in Zante?
It's all open.
Yeah, it's all back open.
All open again now.
Right.
Yeah, we've got to be tested. Yeah. I think they do like random tests, for corona. And we all have to fill a form in, before we get there.
Have a lovely time in Greece. It's been absolutely fantastic talking to you. We'll have to get you back for another episode because we're on D for dancing. When we get to M for menopause, I'll be ringing
I'm really, really good on menopause. I'm really good. Oh, well, thank you for having me on. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Debs. I hope you enjoyed that. How inspirational. And I don't just mean the passion to get us dancing, but the whole voluntary work experience thing that Deb's been doing. Oh my. It's shown her, as well as us, that of course it's possible to make changes at our age and follow a passion and make a considerable career change if we want to. I'll leave you with a word about our ongoing selection box competition. The Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus selection box will contain a glossy hardback edition of the My Best Life Journal. It will contain a gift from Organic Secrets UK, a novel written by one of our previous guests on the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast, as well as other gifts. Here's how to enter. Go to the YouTube channel, which is called Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus. Haha, surprise, surprise. All you need to do there is subscribe to the channel and put a comment on any of the videos. Or go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe and review. I will be putting into a hat the name of anyone who comments or reviews, and I will draw a winner at the end of July. Have an amazing week, and thanks for being here. See you soon. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, share and review. Join us again next week for another episode. The Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast is brought to you by our sponsor Organic Secrets UK Limited. Learn more at www.organicsecrets.co.uk. And don't forget to catch up on all episodes of the podcast at www.directoryofadreamlife.com.